Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. And we are back on the Sam Raimi review series with The Quick and the Dead. So I know I'm putting out my GM Reloaded series this week, but I'm also going to be throwing in some random reviews, trying to finish these up. I still have a lot left. The Quick and the Dead. Directed by Sam Raimi, was it? This is the first one of Sam Raimi's movies that I can watch, that I've watched, and I've went, Sam Raimi directed this? This doesn't seem like Raimi movie at all. Uh, it's not his style. There's no campiness. It's very serious. It doesn't seem like a Sam Raimi movie at all. It's not a terrible film. It's actually not bad. It's actually pretty good. But it doesn't feel like a Sam Raimi film. And I didn't even see Bruce Campbell in here. Let's already go with the Bruce watch. I didn't see Bruce Campbell in here, although he is credited as Wedding Shemp, although I don't remember seeing a wedding in the film, so I don't know. Maybe it's very quick, you just miss him. I did not see him, but supposedly he's in there somewhere. The story is about a woman who shows up, the lady as she's called. She shows up in this western town, which is overrun by a man named Herod, who has this place by the balls, basically. There's a preacher, played by Russell Crowe, who has a grudge against him as well. A grudge against him. And Herod decides to have a shootout amongst the townspeople. It starts off as just a shootout. Whoever makes the first shot first, whoever gets the first shot, hits their opponent first, wins. And then it becomes a duel to the death sort of thing, which I ended up being mixed on towards the end because it really doesn't. I don't know. It seemed fine when it was just you gotta hit them somewhere with the bullet, and now it's all duel to the death. Duel to the death. It seems like, oh, we have these characters at the beginning we don't want to kill off, and then we go into the ones that I don't know. Now to kind of go to my background, I'm not a big Western guy. I don't mind them, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, that sort of thing. I don't mind Westerns. My mom's first husband was a big Western guy, so I know Westerns. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, True Grit, that sort of thing. Back to the Future Part 3. It counts. It counts. So I'm not big on Westerns, but I don't mind. And this was fine for a movie. Very Western. And when you look at the cast, though, you don't think of Western. Sharon Stone. Russell Crowe is one of legitimately the only actors in this that I could see in a Western. Lance Henriksen. I guess you could see him there too. Especially, there's a picture of him right there. That's Lance Henriksen. I don't know. Leonardo Dicaprio. This is before Titanic. And his acting, for the most part, is mixed for me. He comes off like he has a little southern accent. He talks like this, He was 21 years old when this movie came out. But his death scene, yes, he does die. So for all you DiCaprio haters, there you go. I am not one of them. I think he's okay. But his death scene is probably his best acted scene in the movie. Otherwise, he just comes off kind of weird. And I guess before he hit it big with Titanic, and even he's not the best at Titanic either. For the most part in that movie, but he's fine. So this woman has shown up, and she says she's just there for the prize money. The lady found later, and her name is Ellen. But who is she? She's there for a reason, right? Keith David is also in this movie, and I found it very weird. I don't know. He plays this gunslinger, this shootist, someone hired by the townspeople to kill Herod, and then he tells Herod this for some reason. How would you tell the person you're going to kill that you were hired to kill them? And then the next day is when he decides these are now duels to the death, and then he kills the guy. So yeah, kind of a bad mood there, Keith David. Why would you tell him? And yes, so now it's killed to the death. And I do love this one scene where the lady, Ellen, she showed up with this guy. This is the guy that was being mean to this girl. And she refuses to kill him. She shoots him, but she does not kill him. And Harad says, well, the fight's not over until someone dies. But she goes into the bar to have a drink. But he reiterates, the fight's not over until someone dies. So the guy comes in, shoots at her, and she ends up shooting in retaliation, killing him. And this hits her hard, as she only came to kill Harad for reasons we'll find out. But that was her first kill. So, yeah. And on the other side, you have the preacher, played by Russell Crowe, who does not want to kill, but is forced to. And, of course, it ends winding down to him and Ellen, and you have this shootout where he supposedly kills her, and then he's ready to fight Harad. The next day, though, she shows up and starts blowing up buildings. She's still alive. It was a trick perpetrated by the blind kid and the doc, who, I guess, delivered her when she was born. And the backstory is revealed that Harad is actually responsible for the death of her father. He showed up. Her father, played by Gary Sinise, was the marshal. He showed up, took over, hung him, and she tried to shoot him down, but ended up in his death. And so she's vowed revenge ever since. And he figures out who she is when she throws her daddy's badge at his feet, and then she kills him. The end. And also, it was father and son. This is the one thing I'm really mixed on. So it ends up being Harad and Dicaprio's character, and the kid, who ends up being revealed to be Harad's son. And they have I'm the fastest head in the West. I'm the fastest, you can't beat me. I'm really fast, you're old. And, of course, Harad wins because he's got to go on to the final duel, right? But the kid dies. And then they do this, where he's like, well, I was never particularly sure if I was your father anyway. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't justify it. Like, oh, mate, look, he killed his own father. That's deep. He killed his own son. That's something. But then to write it off and be like, oh, I was never really sure if you were my son to begin with. It's like, no, that's to write it off so that it's not as mean as it looks. Like, oh, no, he might not really be his son. It's darker if it is his son, and it is more Sam Raimi if it is his son, so I don't know. He likes to torture people, but And, so yeah. And after Harad is killed, she gives the badge to the preacher and says the law is back in town, and then she leaves. I like the score. Who did the score on this? Does it say? Alan Silvestri. That is why I like the score. It was a good score. And I like the Western feel of it. It is very good. And even the actors you wouldn't think would be in Westerns, like Sharon Stone or Leonardo Dicaprio, they sort of fit with the same. They work. Leonardo Dicaprio kind of sticks out a little bit. For the most part, pretty good. And Gene Hackman obviously is a great villain. He comes off as this slime bucket you just want to see die. His performance is great. There's also this whole thing about this Native American named Spotted Horse, who says no bullet can kill me, and he ends up in a shootout with the preacher. The preacher shoots him, and he only was allowed one bullet per time. He's like, I need another bullet. You know the rules. You have to kill him to win. And give me another bullet. You won't give him another bullet. So the blind kid has to pick out a bullet. Finds one, give it to him, boom, shoots him. And they do this thing where he puts his hand like you think he's still alive, but then he dies. Kind of cool. And they did tell us, no bullet can kill Spotted Horse. And it's like, okay, so he's obviously gonna get killed by a bullet. Honestly, I enjoyed this. I'm gonna give it a middle of the road though, because it's not one I'll check back to. Like I said, I'm not really big on westerns, but it wasn't bad. Middle of the road for sure. So I feel like I want to roll the dice, but that's not what this one is. So next, I believe is next is A Simple Plan. That's the next one. I have no. I don't know. I don't know. But, so what are your thoughts on The Quick and the Dead? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.